WLWT. This is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Coming together in the midst of being asked to stay apart. Welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. I'm Alexis Rogers. This will be an unforgettable time in our lives, dealing with a global pandemic. But in true Cincinnati fashion, our community continues to come together.
Just overwhelming.
We love you! I miss you! My guys! You're making me
Here they
cry.
come. It's a never-ending parade of cars. Look at all the posters.
We've seen from our folks and heard from our folks that they want to do something, even with the social distancing.
Someone said I made 50 yesterday. Someone else said I made 44. That's a lot of time, a lot of sewing, and a lot of love to protect our healthcare professionals.
Even in a time that seems so dark and so unpredictable, that you can still have hope and you can still share love and connect with one another.
They want to make sure that they're healthy and safe, as well as their families healthy and safe.
We're not going to worry. We're going to lift up our faith.
Everybody's come together and how we're still working as a team.
There's plenty we can do.
All people want to do well. They want to help. When they see their brothers and sisters in need, they really want to help.
I just feel wonderful, honestly. I feel like whenever you see like all those people saving up all their money and just donating, I'm like, oh my gosh.
We wanted to lift her spirits.
It just shows that people care about each other.
For us to be able to smile is a blessing for me through this time.
People are feeling a sense of community.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We're helping and making a difference, and easing their stress, right?
And they are angels. They are truly angels.
It doesn't matter how big or small it is. I think everything matters, and just pouring that love into our community right now is so important. And just to keep things positive and happy.
You can see right there that this virus has impacted so many people, and each person that's been impacted brings a different perspective to the table. We checked in with the team over at Life Center, and their job is to save lives, but this time around, they had to breathe a little life into one of their own.
This is a party of a different sort, one that strangers are welcome to join.
She doesn't know anything about it, yeah. Feel free to join if you want.
Thank you! I love you guys so much!
For a woman more than deserving.
I've never seen anything like that before. I had no idea what was happening.
On a normal day, it's her job to comfort others on their darkest day.
It's so much easier for me to be on the side of helping other people.
Her role at Life Center is to work with families when they are experiencing the loss of someone dear to them, and she is the person who comes out and speaks to them about possibly giving the gift of life.
What you're looking at is her Calvary.
She was just diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and we wanted to lift her spirits.
It just really means the world to me right now.
The warriors behind Renee Steinle.
And I couldn't stop crying. I think just the outpouring of love and support from all of my friends and coworkers.
More than 20 cars with police escorts at both ends filled the air with love for Steinle. Every honk, sign, bark, and cheer served as a sweet reminder.
If anybody's going to beat this, she's going to.
That in the midst of all of the distance, love and support are closer than ever.
That, honestly, that I'm truly never alone. That I have people in my court. And to just remember to focus on the positive and the good in this world, because those people are the good in my world.
Her Life Center co-workers even created a GoFundMe page to help Steinle through her journey, showing that love is much bigger than fear. You can't help but smile to see that type of effort. We checked in with Renee's daughter, and she tells us that this will be something they will all remember for the rest of their lives. Next on Let's Talk Cincy, making this quarantine count, how communities are making the best out of staying apart. this time apart, people have been fighting to stay connected, so they've been getting pretty creative in their quarantine time. From neighborhood to neighborhood, we continue to see people stay connected in the best of ways. I think we all have been learning to appreciate our teachers out there a little bit more, especially with all of our kids being at home completing online schooling. We decided it's time to show our teachers a little bit of love. Mother Teresa Catholic Elementary School kindergarten teacher Amanda Borgman was moved to tears when she realized how much her students missed her. This sound of joy was hard to miss.
I miss you too!
Educators like 4th grade Beechwood Elementary School teacher Miss Amanda Clear have been on the minds of many of her students and their parents. To show how much they miss her during this time away, they did a driving parade, which of course was met with happy gasps and tears. Teachers at Lakota wanted to return the favor by showing their students some love. They put on a car parade to show their students how much they missed them. Well, we keep seeing so many examples of creativity and generosity as people are trying to abide by all of this social distancing, and those efforts we're calling WLWT Community.
So today we are doing key lime pie.
Quarantine cuisine. That's right. I know I'm not the only one who's been cooking a lot of cool things in their kitchen during this quarantine. Well, one local bakery owner, Taryn Kennebrew from Sweet Petite Bakery, is now throwing free online baking parties with a DJ, trying to mix this whole thing up.
Build some community, and most conversations, the best conversations that I've ever had have always been in the kitchen. So this is my way to feed the soul, I guess, in a sense.
Speaking of food, another organization called Revive is launching their new program called High Five Foods. With this, they've distributed 480 meals to over 18 zip codes in less than 2 weeks. They are also providing housing for families who are going to the hospital from out of town, need a short place to stay because their child is in critical condition. We're finding the good behind the lens. Life doesn't just stop because communities are in quarantine. Local photographer Ashley Garland with Images Photography and Video captured these beauties from her car. What started as a random afternoon drive is turning into a bright spot in many people's day. Garland calls it Quarantine Chronicles. She captures memorable photos during what she calls a drive-by photo session. She says it's a fun way to see the glass half full rather than half empty. Staying connected is truly the name of the game. Being able to keep up with elderly loved ones just got a little bit easier with the app and local startup company Hi Lois. This is out of the UC Innovation Hub. They developed a private social network designed for seniors and their families. Forbes recently just wrote about their popularity ramping up in the midst of this quarantine. The app was something creator Brett Harnett dreamed up for his mother, Lois, who suffered from Alzheimer's.
This will allow people to not only maintain their social distancing, but also to provide a communication platform with their loved ones isolated in facilities.
It's been pretty interesting to see how creative people have been getting during this quarantine, especially students. Photographer Victor Fox had a one-of-a-kind photo shoot with a Withrow University High School senior named Deanna Hicks. She contacted him months back to do her senior portraits, but the week of her photo shoot, her school closed its doors due to the coronavirus. Like many seniors, she will miss prom and graduation, so Victor decided to do a photo shoot using virus props to give her a lasting memory of how she persevered in the end.
Names and we'll talk about
Abby Holliday, a senior over at University of Cincinnati, along with her father, Michael Holliday, who's a doctor and associate professor at UC, joined others in their family to create a lively, upbeat music video for those sheltering at home to stay healthy and safe. So far, this ode to family, hand sanitizer, toiletries, and family games to pass the time away has garnered quite a following. You see right there, whether it's learning a new skill, teaching others, or simply just being supportive, the little things are just as important as the big things. Learning what the coronavirus feels like from a local business owner and mom, and how faith leaders across the area are keeping people encouraged, coming up on Let's Talk Cincy. We've heard so much about the coronavirus, but it's been different as we've been hearing the firsthand accounts from those who are dealing with it. We caught up with a Colerain Township mother and business owner who is pleading with anyone that will listen to please take this thing seriously.
People are dying out here. People are sick. I'm one of them.
This is the last place 31-year-old Shanae Hamilton thought she would wind up.
Never in a million years would have thought that I would have got it, especially because I was doing everything I was supposed to do.
Hamilton is a proud owner of Nay & Company Hair Studio, wife to a Cincinnati police officer, and the mother of 2 kids, ages 3 and 10. What started as a headache on March 27th snowballed into receiving a positive coronavirus test result on Friday.
And so after that, the shortness of breath started, and that's definitely the worst part. All I can really describe it as is it feels like you're drowning on air, like you can't breathe, and you try to grasp for air, but it's nothing there.
We still have folks gathering and them trying to regulate that. When you see that, especially knowing what you're going through, what are your thoughts?
It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry because people are taking it as a joke. They think they can't be touched. I'm only 31 years old. I'm healthy. I washed my hands. I did everything they told us to do. I have a hair salon. I closed it down the day they told me to close it down. I did everything right and still got it.
Hamilton does believe there is light at the end of this tunnel.
Like this just comes and try to snatch it away. I think more than anything, it should teach us to just be kind to each other, because you just never know when your last day is. So many people lost their lives to this virus, and I'm just so thankful that I'm not one of them.
One way or another, she says life will likely never be the same.
She was so kind to let us in on her journey, and something that she continued to bring up was keeping the faith. We checked in with many spiritual leaders all across greater Cincinnati who say that that is their main focus. They say their communities are keeping people lifted.
Coronavirus, layoffs, and death. It seems to be our new normal.
We've had this virus hit the nation. We've had churches shut down, businesses shut down. The tragedy is here, and people are waiting for God to do a miracle and this virus to, go away and get out of here.
But for these faith leaders, preaching the message of hope every Sunday from the pulpit, they believe this time of isolation and testing is making individuals and families stronger than ever.
I think families are going to be stronger. Marriages are going to be stronger.
Dr. Mike Scruggs pastors Light of the World Church in Cincinnati. He says his goal is to make sure people come out of this crisis better than they were going in.
I'm talking mental health and how to manage being in the house during this time and how to, prepare for certain things. We talk finances, how to make sure your money's right coming out of this.
Like many other churches, Scruggs' congregation also includes some of the most vulnerable to the coronavirus, the elderly. Leaders at Light of the World have made it a point, especially now, to make sure that they are safe and healthy.
We've been making phone calls. We literally have, our database. We say, all right, here's everybody that's over 60.
Each of these faith leaders agree right now is the time for the church, capital C, to show up in our communities.
What does it look like to be the church in this season? It looks like love. It looks like love when you're calling your 60-plus community. It looks like love when you're, on the other hand, responding to those needs, whether it be through food drives or other ways that you're finding ways to support people.
Each of their prospective houses of worship are keeping their parishioners safe by encouraging them to stay home and take in services online.
You have the right to gather, and some people are exercising that. What have you told your congregation?
Rabbi Karen Thomashow of Wise Temple in Cincinnati related these times to an ancient Jewish teaching.
If you can't gather in your synagogues, then gather in your field. And if you can't gather in your field, gather in your home. And I think that many of us feel in the religious tradition at this time that what's more important than the physical synagogue or church is the community that is emotional, spiritual, and very tangible, even if not touched.
These leaders saying in this moment, the church can model Jesus' example of enduring a moment of sorrow, but looking ahead with hope.
It's okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it through this. Your family's going to make it through this, and you're going to be better on the other side.
Those who are on the front lines don't get a chance to leave work at work. And we've been seeing all across the country people having to live in their garages, in tents, anywhere but their homes as they try to keep their family from being infected. Well, thanks to an unlikely or unexpected relationship on Facebook, one local family got a chance to keep their family that much more safe.
Russ and Brenda Hazelwood's camper has seen the country.
We do a lot of weekend travel. We do a lot of vacations. This really is our primary vacation home.
Beside this West Side home may be its most important destination to date.
Today we delivered our RV to Lynn and her family for her to use until this is over, I guess, at this point.
As the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 grows in and around Cincinnati, this camper could save lives.
Unbelievable. I just can't believe these people did this for me.
With keys in hand, mother, wife, and Christ Hospital nurse Lynn Schneller can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Know that I'm not bringing this home to them. I feel like I can lay my head down now and not worry about my husband, who is currently undergoing a cancer treatment, and my son, who has asthma really bad.
While her husband fights prostate cancer at home, this is where she'll live with her son's girlfriend, Kristen, a nurse at Mercy Fairfield. The curve determining the length of their stay.
I've got everything. I've got a refrigerator, I've got a stove, I've got an oven.
The family's connected through a Facebook group, RVs for MDs, creating community through crisis.
We're helping and making a difference, and easing their stress, right?
And they are angels. They are truly angels.
And with a grateful heart, she asks this of you.
Please stay at home. We'll go to work, but you stay home so that we can take care of those sick people.
That was the epitome of sacrifice. Not to mention, it's pretty cool that relationships are being formed during this time. Coming up on Let's Talk Cincy, the continued push to do our part for each other. Hi there and welcome back. We've seen all of these acts of humanity. We know that what's at the core of all of these efforts are the hearts behind them. Art is a great way to spread joy, and if you've taken a walk around Covington, you'll see evidence of that all around. From windows of businesses to windows of homes, the homemade signs and messages to first responders and essential workers is something that Emily Wolf believes everyone in Covington can get behind.
This is not the first time our Covington community has come together to show support during a time of need. So when we decided to do a call of action and make thank you signs for our first responders and anyone on the front lines, it was something that the community was excited to participate in and show our love and respect for those people. I think a lot of communities are feeling powerless right now due to the coronavirus, and this allows us to take control, to show our love and support at a time where really everything is out of control. It just felt like we had to do something, and I think everyone is feeling that way right now. I just think now is the time to really dig in deep and say, what can I do as a community member to help others get through this really dark and heavy time? Making sure that their neighbors know that they are going to work every day as an essential worker, that we support them, and that we are staying home and trying to stay healthy at home so that their job is easier. Just pouring that love into our community right now is so important.
And we're seeing signs of support in other ways too. The locally owned BP gas station on Winton Road is giving gas discounts to support health professionals and hospital workers.
We've been just trying to give back. Since last weekend, we said we know it was tight. We dropped our gas to $1.22, which was the lowest in the city at the time. Now this week, we got a lot of great feedback from that from corporate. I was on a phone call. They said they were putting some things together. Got the email, said, hey, we're getting ready to do a promotion, and we're going to offer 50 cents off each gallon for the month of April for any of the folks on the front line, trying to make sure that we can get back to some normalcy.
Music has proven to be a universal way to spread joy, and we have some amazing talents right here in Cincinnati that are catching the eyes and ears of people all around the world.
We need you to sing this song with us. Listen up, listen up.
Cross Worship featuring Osby Berry covered the popular song So Will I during a previous performance for the youth over at Crossroads Church.
We could just feel the hope in the room. We could feel all of the, not only the emotion, but just like the faith in the room. And I think that when it's shared, you can see that authenticity come across through the video.
They posted the video, and tens of millions of views later, it caught Oprah Winfrey's attention. Oprah posted that she now plays it throughout her house to start her day as inspiration during these trying times.
I think that it's just an inspiring song that people could really use during this time.
This moment, I believe that, like the word says, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. And to what's going to help build our faith is to hear what God says, is to hear about God, to hear what He's speaking in the earth. And so to release, for people to kind of cling to a song like that, because I believe that it's building hope in this hour. It's building faith in this hour, which is what we all need.
It's definitely a song of encouragement. Especially looking back, even just looking back on what was going on in the moment, it just really, that moment is very empowering for us to actually be in it, but for actually having others to actually experience it with us. It's really just been a very humbling experience and an encouraging experience, especially now the situations that we're in now. So I'm just happy to have even been a part of that moment with these guys.
Now other stars are picking up on the talented crew based throughout Cincinnati and Dayton. Speaking of inspiration, Blake Mason and Citygate Worship brought their melodies to UC Hospital in Westchester. As staff and patients endured long and hard hours at the hospital, they say they're thankful for the prayers and peaceful melodies coming through their doors and windows. Neighbors helping neighbors. That's how we will get through this thing all together. Well, that will do it for this edition of Let's Talk Cincy, but of course, we want to hear from you. Email us all of your ideas at ltc@wlwt.com. You can also see full episodes and stories from Let's Talk Cincy by going to the menu tab of wlwt.com and clicking on Let's Talk Cincy. We'll see you next week for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy. Remember, stay encouraged.